Well, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. I am Melissa Kerman. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator for 20 years. I am in my 21st year now. Hit my anniversary back in March. And it's been a super, super busy time. I was live every week in March, well, except for the last one, so 4 weeks in March. And it's been a while since I've been live, so glad to be back. I had several trips in the mix. And what else? Travel. I said trips. I was sick. And so, yeah, it's been a long time. Hi, Jolene. Good to see you here. So glad you're joining in. And I have a lot to cover tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and just dive right in. Um, I am streaming through StreamYard so that I can switch my camera facing down. And at some point, if you have an opportunity, it'd be great if you can go over to StreamYard.com/Facebook, I think is the URL, and just approve that I can see your name showing up here in StreamYard. That really helps a lot. Let's see, I'm going to see if I'm showing up live and over here. Hold on just one second. Okay, so lots to cover, lots going on. In my project today, which is a fun fold, I'm going to show you 3 different versions of this card. And it's a super simple fun fold. Hi, Lorley. So glad to see you here. Yay. Glad to see people here. And Tracy, so good to see you. So yeah, I have a fun fold and I'm making, some of them are with retiring products, some is carrying over, some is new products. So I'm showing a whole variety of things. It's that time of year where there's lots of stuff that's going away and a lot that is still on sale. So take advantage of the retiring things, and I'll be showing you more on that in just a sec. Hi, Sue. Hi, Linda. Hi, MJ. Yay. So glad to see you all here. All right, so I am going to split my screen here and show you my desktop at the same time. So these are the things going on. Current host code. I have product shares. Taste of Sweet product shares are live literally as of the last few days. Posted information in my newsletter that went out yesterday. There are 13 shares to choose from. 10 of them are based on suites in the new annual catalog, which goes live at the beginning of May. And the other 3 are a medley of designer series paper, specialty papers, an embellishment share, and of course, a new in color share, which is super fun. So the details about the product shares are right here, and they're also going to be in the description of this video. They're there already, in fact. And I'm actually going to make this, let's see. I'm going to switch my screen so that you can see the other one. Okay, let's see. I'm still learning how to do the StreamYard thing. Okay, that didn't work. Okay. Oh, darn. Okay, I don't know how to do it. Repetition, that's the key to getting to know something. So anyway, so here I am. So product share information is on my website under the product shares tabs. You can go there. I'm offering an early bird special. And the turnaround is really quick because there's 2 deadlines. Reserve your shares by April 23rd. And pay for them by the 25th. I'll be sending invoices on the 24th. It really helps me if people register and reserve their shares early, because then I can plan. It's a lot easier for me. And then I have a little bonus for those people that do that. So let's see if I can get my tech here. Oh, okay. And get my desktop showing. There's different ways that I can view this, and okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. So you guys can see my desk big. So the early bird special. So based upon how many shares you're getting, the early bird special is going to be different. So I'm going to do a drawing for a sampler of all the new and returning colors of cardstock for anybody that orders 1, 2, 3, or 4 shares. I'll show you what the sampler is going to look like. It does not include in colors, just I think it's 16 either new or returning colors. So you get a little sampler of that for the drawing. And if you order 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 shares, you get a sampler. No drawing, you just get it. Of those new and returning colors. And then if you purchase 10, 11, or 12 or 13 shares, you get the sampler of the new color, the cardstock, a free Wink of Stella brush, and a new 2023-25 in color bookmark. I do a bookmark every single year, and I love to give those away. So if you order lots of shares, you'll get one of your very own. And again, I'll start sending invoices on the 24th. Okay, what else is going on? So Maker's Mojo, Creative Escape. That is happening starting tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. Now, we have sort of counted all the different projects that we've made and variations. 45 project ideas. I mean, unbelievable. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm using in my projects later in the day in the tonight's Facebook Live. Just for fun, to show you all the range of things I'm using. And there are fun folds, techniques, 3D items, lots of stuff. The team just goes over the top with the projects. So yeah, 45 projects, variations. And the intention is to help you get creative with what you have, as opposed to buying everything that we are using, which we might all love to do, but that's not the point. All right, let's see what else. We're going to look at the new and returning colors. I'll show that later. And of course, share, tag, follow, and like if you're watching this video and you want to share it with somebody. I would so appreciate that. All right, so that's just kind of the high level stuff that we're doing today. Here is the new annual catalog cover. I can't open it and show you inside. It's not allowed. Now, I should say for the product shares, I can only purchase a small amount in the pre-order. So I've included photographs of the products that Stampin' Up has allowed us to show their photographs on the product shares page. So I'm going to show you what I have later. But the rest, of course, is in this lovely catalog. If you are a regular customer of mine, you will have gotten one of these in the mail. I know some people have already received theirs. I sent them out on Monday. No, I sent them on Tuesday. So some people who are local have already gotten their catalog. So you'll get to look inside and you'll get to see all of the product share stuff and all the other goodies in there as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the project. Let's see if I can do a different screen where you guys can actually see me. That's not what I want. And I want it to be reversed so that you guys can see. No, I know there's, yes, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Okay, let's just do that. I had this before. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to show you the project that I'm actually going to demonstrate, and then I'll show you the variations after that. So this project here is made with the Greatest Journey stamp set and dies. I did just do a class featuring the Greatest Journey bundle. Now, the Greatest Journey dies have been on sale. They are gone. I'm so sad to say. But the Greatest Journey stamp set is still available. I looked today. So I'm going to show you some workarounds so you can make this project without the dies if you haven't already bought it and you want to make it, but you have the stamp set or you want to buy the stamp set. So just so you know. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in with my pieces. All right, so we're going to start with my scoring tool here. And oh, you got your catalog today, Sue. Wonderful. I love that. And included the product shares list. Yes, I always try to include that information with catalogs so people have all that they need. Okay, so this piece of cardstock measures 5.5 by 5 1/4. And I have scored it at 1 inch over here on the left. Yes. So you can see I already have the score line in there. Now this card is called, it's either a peek through card or a split card. I've seen it shown as both things. Some of you may have made this style of card before. Just grab my bone folder. So I'm just going to fold on my crease and set that aside for now. This is my inside piece, the white piece. All right. So we're going to start with our old olive layers here. Now, none of the colors I'm using here are retiring, so that's a lovely thing. We're saying goodbye to some colors as well now. All right, so I'm going to start off by doing the direct to paper technique on one of my panels of old olive, and it's a little bit tricky because it's a very small thin piece. So I'm just going to rub it against the edge. I'm basically just giving it some texture and a little bit of interest so that it's not just straight up cardstock. It's got a little bit of added color to it. So let's look at the two pieces side by side. This is one of the simplest techniques you can do. It's just called direct to paper. Basically the ink pad direct to the paper. Straightforward, right? So that's step one. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm taking the grass image from the stamp set. Oh, Jolene, your catalog arrived too. Wonderful. So are the directions to making the fun fold available anywhere in writing? That's a very good question, Tracy. So what I've been doing with all of my presentations on Facebook and blog posts is I'm making a PDF tutorial that is free to people who attend, people who are subscribers to my newsletter. So the tutorial for this project that I'm showing here today will be included in next week's newsletter, which will be on Wednesday. So I'm going to pause just 1 second and just tell you I'm stamping the grass, full ink, and then second ink right there. And I'm just going to keep doing that to give me some kind of natural looking grass. And I'm going most of the height with the full inking and down a little bit for the second a bit of grass that's stamped off. And that way it's going to give my piece some dimension and interest, and it'll look sort of kind of natural. So, and then I'm going to take the stamp and just do the tiniest bit of full ink down at the bottom, right where all those second inked images were, and it just kind of fills it in a little bit. So there's that. So the question of directions. So if you are already a newsletter subscriber, in fact, in this week's newsletter, I sent a recap of, I think it was 4 or 5 PDF tutorials that I've shared over the last over the last month or so. So that if you'd missed one and joined the newsletter to get it, it would be in this week's newsletter. So every once in a while, I'm thinking that I'll do that in case people miss out. So be checking your newsletter for that section in the newsletter for the free PDF tutorials. All right. So next, I'm going to go ahead and attach my grass piece to this small piece of Highland Heather. Okay. I need one of my silicone craft mats. All right, so if your adhesive, the adhesive retracts into the dispenser and it's not coming out, all you have to do is rub it on this silicone craft mat and it pulls it forward and magically works again. All right. So I used to put the supplies and dimensions and basic description of what I did in the project, plus the video tutorial in my blog posts. And I'm still including the video, of course. The video goes on YouTube also, in addition to being on Facebook. But I decided that I would reserve the finished, detailed instructions of the PDF tutorial for newsletter subscribers. So this is kind of a new thing. And I'm excited to be able to offer it. It takes a little bit more time putting together the details, and it's just a little bit easier to digest, I think, because it's not in the context of a blog post, but it's just a standalone document that has step-by-step instructions, the supply list, extra photos if needed, that kind of thing. All right. So now I'm just putting that second old olive scrap at the top. And there's my bottom piece. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for now. Let's work on this piece now. All right, so one of the dies in the stamp set is this little linear shape. This one right here. If you've owned this set, you may have noticed it. And it basically just creates a bit of a mountain range, if you will. So I have taken 2 pieces of cardstock, one in Gorgeous Grape. Frankly, I'm so happy that my purples did not go away. They did not retire. Both of these colors are staying in the catalog. It makes me very happy because I love my purples. Now, I have just die cut them. This one was a little bit longer than it needed to be. And I'm going to just trim off what I don't need. And so that I have the benefit of maybe a little bit more length if I want it, I'm going to trim it off so that it sort of goes in the angle of the mountain range there. Now, if you don't have the dies and you want to make a project like this, you want to make mountains, quick little fun tip is you can take a piece of cardstock and just tear it. In fact, I should grab one and just tear it. I will tear this one. This is my piece that I used for die cutting this one. But just, you want to simply, tear it in a shape that, looks like a mountain to you, mountain range. That might not be so mountainous, but whatever shape you want, you just tear it. And then you can go ahead and use that edge to create your mountains. Obviously, it won't be as regular as this, but mountains aren't regular, right? So that's okay. All right. Set that aside for now. All right, so now for this, I don't want them to exactly mirror one another, the mountains. I want them to look sort of more natural. So I can kind of tilt one or, tilt one the other, one way or the other, to just kind of get them in an orientation where they're not exactly, I don't know, one over the other. So you can still see that they're about the same shape, but I don't want it to be directly under like that. It looks too regular to me. I'm not trying to get an edge on the mountain. I want it to look different. So I'm going to probably do something like this. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to grab my blending brush and my Gorgeous Grape ink. And in my fantasy world, mountains are purple, right? Maybe they're blue, but I can think of them as purple. So I'm going to grab my blending brush and I'm just going to add a little bit extra color to the edge of my mountain. That's just going to give it a little bit more dimension and depth. And I'm going to do the same thing to my Highland Heather. Cool, right? I love doing this kind of use of the blending brush. Okay, so next I've got this piece is my actual focal piece. You can see it in behind there, behind the mountains. I'm going to use this and the negative space piece. I just tore at the top, but this is again the piece that I die cut for the mountains. And I'm going to use that piece to do some creative masking. Now, I want to get these sort of positioned generally how I want them before I do anything else. So let's start with doing that. So I'm going to just attach these so they're where I want them to be. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I'm going to eyeball where this is going to go. And I think I might even go ahead and attach it. I think that's what we'll do. I'm going to go ahead and attach it. Now, I'm going to be cutting off some of this excess, right? Because it's going to be hanging off the edge. Okay. Pull that forward. And we'll get that in place. I just need to make sure that my purple goes all the, my grape, gorgeous grape, goes all the way side to side. And I'm actually not going to press it down because I don't want to attach it quite yet. Probably should have just put a little bit of adhesive on there. What I really want to do is just snip off the edges so that I know where I'm going to be adding some additional mountains in behind. So because I put adhesive all over the back of that, I'm just grabbing a release sheet. This is just an old thing that had adhesive on it, and I'm going to put it in behind here so that this is not fully sticking. Because when I press it down in the cutter, it might actually make it adhere completely, and I don't want it to do that. I'm just using it as a guide. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim my edges off. Line it up against the top. Trim the side, and I trim this one from the back. I know that's kind of confusing. I have adhesive on the back side of that. This is my focal piece right there. And then I'm going to do this on the back side and trim it off so that it's even with the bottom of my piece. And now I can really see where my mountains are. Now that actually was a little bit off the edge, so I'm going to have to trim that down just a little bit more so that that's not a wonky edge. Okay. All right, so that's what it looks like. Now I can go ahead and add my extra mountains. So just to compare, you could leave it just like this. You don't have to add extra mountains if you don't want to, but I think it adds a lot to have all these additional mountains in here. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to keep this in screen so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to just remove that, and then I may lift it up and place it on there periodically so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so let's start with something like right there. Okay, grab my blending brush, and I don't want to go off to this side, right, because I don't want to get that straight line, but I just want to get the rest of the shape, and that end will just kind of fade in behind. Okay, so there's mountain number one. I got a little bit in there, so I'll cover that up with another mountain. Okay, and now I'm going to come in here with another one. I want this one to be a little bit taller. So for anybody that doesn't know, I live in North Carolina in the Appalachian Mountains, or near the Appalachian Mountains. And the mountains are just beautiful here. And there's lots of sort of layers of mountains, mountain ranges that you can see that fade into the background. They get lighter and lighter as they get further away. Okay, so these are both pretty dark. So what I want to do is do one in the middle that's lighter. So I'm going to press much less hard and just sort of try to get the faintest of a mountain in behind. You can see it's a lot more faint than these other ones. I might have gone a little bit lighter with that. And I'm just going to go do a little bit more right up here. I am the architect of my own mountains. You could be the architect of your own mountains too. Okay, so that's what I got. Let's see what it looks like with this on top. So now we've got some rugged mountains, even darker than I did on this one, even more. And they're each going to turn out different, right? That's part of the fun of it. Okay, so comment, are you inspired to make mountains? I love mountains. I love wildflowers. So now I'm just curious. Have I inspired anybody to do some either tearing or masking and making your own mountains? All right. We'll let you guys respond if you feel so inclined. Okay, so now I'm going to take off this release sheet. Hey there. I just got one of those phone calls that's potential spam. So I guess I probably cut out for a second there. That's the reason why. So I don't know about you guys. I get a lot of those potential spam phone calls. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and attach my mountains. So I have my full mountain range. Laura Lee, you love mountains too? Yay. Oh, you just finished a set of torn paper for clouds and hills. I love that, Mary. That's awesome. And Shelly, you're going to make one too. I love that. Oh, so you know where I live, Mary. That's wonderful. Yes, it's a beautiful state, North Carolina. We're in the Piedmont, which is, the flats, but we're not too far from mountains. So, all right. So I'm going to set this aside now, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm doing the "We're in this together." Now, I love the sentiments in this set. If you're looking at this, my favorites, I love Mountains of Thanks, You Belong Among the Stars, just a lovely one. Wishing you joy in this next adventure. This moment is the start of something great. I'm so inspired by your courage. And of course, we're in this together. Every single one I love. And I rarely say that about a stamp set. And then my favorite image is this floral one, which we're going to work with in just a little bit. All right. So I'm going to grab our gorgeous grape again. And let's see how well I can do this without, see if I can get my head in the screen. It's actually a lot easier if you have a dark surface in behind because you can see the outline of the cardstock. So there's that. Now this is a tiny little piece and I'm going to be punching the ends with my surprise, surprise, Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch, which I have been using so much on so many projects. Now I have what I'm calling my handle. It's just a piece of scrap cardstock that has adhesive on one end. This piece is so small that it's too small to actually hold on to it and punch the end. So I've made myself a little handle. I do this trick all the time. If you guys watch me, you know. And then I'm just going to stick it in the back and try to center it on, oh, it just came off. I need a little more adhesive on my handle. I actually attached my handle to my to the punch, and I use it again and again. So clearly the adhesive lost some of its stick. All right, so here we go. And let's do the second side. Oh, that's right, Laura. You're originally from Utah, where Stampin' Up lives. I love the mountains out there too. They're much more gentle here in North Carolina. I kind of, my heart is really with the Rockies, the Rocky Mountains, big rugged mountains. But I do love the North Carolina mountains as well. So fortunately, this lovely Pick-a-Punch, or I'm sorry, Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch is not retiring. I'm so happy because I love this punch. I love just the subtle little element that it gives us on the edge. And I pretty much always use this little mini scallop. The other one is just a little bit more going on. So I tend to gravitate towards this one. All right, so we've got all of our pieces ready except for the focal piece, which is the flowers. Okay, where did my stuff go? It's right here. Oh yeah, it's right in front of me. Okay, so we're using this image here. And now I have already stamped and die cut my piece, and I've done some of the coloring too. It looks like I've done all of it, but I'm going to be doing some fine tuning and just kind of showing you and giving you a few tips rather than doing the whole thing. Now, if anybody wants to, it does not already have the Greatest Journey stamp set, and you want to buy this stamp set from me and make this card, you already know how you can work around with the mountains because you don't have the dies. Anybody buys this stamp set from me, I will die cut this piece for you. And now we're going to test out if you can use it easily without after it's cut. Okay, so you're going to know what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm going to try to do because I love this card and I love this image. And I'm such a fan of this stamp set. I've used it so much. So I'm just going to ink this up. I've die cut the piece already. It's on a black dark layer in the background so I can really see. Now my head might go into camera, but that's just what's going to happen here. And I'm just putting my head right over the top so I can see the outline and just stamping the image. Let's see how I did. Ah, love it. Pretty perfect. Not exactly perfect, but pretty darn close. So that's just to say, if you really want to make this card, you buy the stamp set for me, use the host code. I will die cut this for you. Okay. You just have to send me an email and tell me you're going to do that. So, and if I see a single order that just has that image on it, so, you know, that stamp set on it, I'll know. Because I love this. I love this image. Okay. So let's do some coloring. So I want to show you what I've done so far. So I have finished the elements over here. So compare this one to this one. Okay. So this one, I've only done my first layer. I've colored all the foliage with my soft seafoam, which is a current color, and just covered the whole thing. And I did the little yellow image in Daffodil Delight with a little bit of dark and a little bit of light. So I'm going to finish that up. And I'm going to finish up some of these images. You can see the pink is finished. This is polished pink, which is one of the colors that's retiring. And of course, now I've fallen in love with it now that it's going away. And I've just loved doing this. Now this has, all my greens are done, but I need to fine tune my purple flowers. So right now, all I have is the light Highland Heather. So I'm going to use my dark to do some accenting on the purple. So let's start with that. And I know I'm a little bit far away, but I'll bring the camera up, or I'll bring the piece up to the camera every once in a while so you can see. So I've got my layer, and I'm just going to go in and do a little bit of dark accents. I like to do it towards the bottom of the flower and in the centers. Wherever there are dark lines is kind of the clue that the artists have given us to tell us where maybe the darks would be, or the shading. And if you can try to remember how it looked to begin with, maybe I won't do all of it. Oh, I kind of have done all of it already. Right. So I'm getting my darks in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I may do some additional light. I don't know. Let's see. I might not need it. So there's my purple flowers all done. So you can see now I have some nice lights and darks in there. It's a small image, so it doesn't require that you do too much to make it look more finished and sort of multi-shaded. Now for the pink flowers on these, I've just done the dark elements on those two. So I'm just going to fill it in with the light polished pink. Nope, and I just noticed a bit of green that I've missed. That always seems to happen when I'm doing coloring an intricate image, because the leaves, there's another one. So that was the soft suede. So now, I'm sorry, the old olive. So all the green is done on that. All of this is done except for maybe some of these, this green and this green. So here I've done just the soft seafoam on those leaves, but I've done the full coloring on those ones. And again, that same thing, the soft seafoam on here. So let's do the fine tuning of that. So I'm going to start with my dark old olive, and I'm just going to go down the center spine of each of these larger leaves. And I'm going to do just a little bit towards the bottom of each of these green leaves. And it's going to look really dark because I've got now my lightest and my darkest color on here. Okay. So now just take a look at that. So now I've got my dark, and it doesn't look, it doesn't look very good in comparison to the ones that I've finished because there's no blending. So now I'm going to go in with my light old olive and do my touch-ups and bridge the gap between the darkest and the lightest color. And again, these are small spaces, so you don't have to do a lot to get this blended look. Just a tiny little bit of my pink flower. All right. So you can actually use your color lifter to blend a little bit, but generally you don't need to with images this small. Now I want to point something out. For that little yellow flower, I don't know if you can tell, I colored it with green by accident when I was first doing it. I literally took my color lifter and lifted the color. It's almost like bleach, sort of. And while it has a slightly different look than the one over here that I did without any green, it really, you would probably never know if I didn't point it out to you. So the color lifter is kind of a magic tool. I love it. All right, so there's my finished piece. Now I just need to put the card together and show you the fun fold aspect of this project. Let's turn this over so we have a cleaner surface here. Okay, so what's the name of the stamp set again? I do have to look at the comments every once in a while. I get distracted showing. So this is it, the Greatest Journey set. I looked just a few hours ago. The set was still available. The dies were not. But again, as I offered, I will die cut. If you buy the stamp set from me with the host code, I will send you a die cut piece. It can't be stamped because that's against Stampin' Up policy, but I will send you the unstamped piece. And that's why I showed earlier how easy it is to stamp over that with the photopolymer stamps. Makes it super easy. Let's see. And Linda, the second flower from the left looks like Virginia bluebells. Oh, so maybe I should have done it in blue, huh? I actually thought about doing it in blue. In fact, I thought about doing it in this color, which is one of the new colors. It's called, what is it called? Azure. No, it's called, what is it called? Azure Afternoon. Azure Afternoon? Yeah. Anyway, it looks like a really pretty blue, and I have barely played with it. So maybe I should have done those flowers in the blue. Let's see what else. Oh, it may not be bluebells. Oh, well. Okay. So, and I actually, somebody, Megan, who is often joining us here, she said that she thought this might be Indian paintbrush, and I was doing it all green. But to me, it looks right green. And I know what Indian paintbrush looks like, and I love it. But, just stuck with what I was doing. All right. So we've got our card base. We've got our bottom piece. This is the piece that's going to go in behind. So let's go ahead and attach that. Oh, and actually, I don't need any adhesive because I got adhesive on here already. How convenient. That white piece, this purple piece, actually, the have a tethered piece, was already had adhesive on it in my pile of scraps in my drawer. So I just made use of it because it's been in there for a while from some other project, some other time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and attach it. Now, this, I should point out, is die cut with the rectangle stitch dies. These dies are going away. They're a staple to me, so it's really doesn't make me happy that they're going away because I use them all the time because they're such basic, but it's going away. So I don't even know if they're still available. I didn't check before I went live, but I do love them. Okay, I have to even up the spacing because it's not exactly the right size. I'm running over here to my cutter to trim off just a little bit so that it's a little bit. I want an even edge of my gorgeous grape around all the sides, and that's close enough. So there we go. That. And now I'm going to put dimensionals on the back side of this. So I should have told you all before we started this that I really have a lot to cover today, and the project is just one thing. So I'm going to show the products that I've gotten from the pre-order, the Stampin' Up pre-order. I'm going to show you all of the colors, the new colors, returning colors of cardstock. And what else? I'm going to show you the product shares in their assembled form to the extent that I have them to show. And what else? Or other things. Yeah, and then I'm going to show you all of the fun products I'm using on my Maker's Mojo projects, some of which are new. So some of what I'm showing is will overlap. Never fear, we're not going to be here all night long, but you can stay as long as you want. Leave whenever you want. Not like you need my permission to do that. So the size of the rectangle, good question. You could actually cut this if you don't have the stitch, but let's do a size of it because it's about 3 3/8 by 4 3/4. So yeah, you could cut that piece if you don't have the rectangle stitch dies. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this. Grab my take your pick tool. It's so much easier to let it do the work of picking them up than doing it with my fingernails. Okay. And we got this justified off to the left. And I'm going to put some adhesive on my sentiment. And that's going to be hanging off the edge just a little bit. I'm going to wait to attach it actually until I've got this assembled. Okay, so now I want this bottom piece. This is where we get to the very simple fun fold. Justified all the way at the bottom. So I'm tapping it again so it's just right there attached. And then I'm going to put some adhesive at the very top and at the very bottom. The other thing that this silicone craft sheet is wonderful for is when you have adhesive on something and you need a place for it. And if you turn it, upside down so you can't see it, you might lose the thing on your table. You're going to forget. So it's really nice to be able to put it adhesive side down so you can, it won't stick to your work surface and you can still find it. Okay, so all I'm doing is this is going to be my bridge between the top and the bottom, and it's going to create the front. So it's split in the middle. That's why you might call it a split card. And you can sort of peekaboo a little bit on the sides because it doesn't go all the way to the edge. And you can do these in lots of different ways, but the other versions that I'm going to show you show it a little bit different too. So, all right. So then I got my adhesive, my sentiment, and I'm just going to attach that right over here on the right-hand side. So it's hanging off the edge just a little bit. Maybe hanging off a little more than I want it to be. There we go. Voila. There are my two cards. Fun, right? So super simple. And of course, I need an inside. Now on the inside of this one, I had a tiny little scrap of stamped grass because when I did this, I ended up cutting it down a little bit. Didn't want it to be the full length. And it was a great use for that scrap. So I could decorate the inside in just a little way. And of course, this piece is going to go in here, but I'm not going to do that on camera because I don't think it's necessary. But you can see how the white's going to show through once you attach it. So you can see the inside. There's my card. Yay. Okay, so let me show you the other ones that I made. And it's all basically the same idea, same layout. And this one, and I was inspired to make these. I have to give credit where credit is due by my team member, Amy Johnson. I don't know if she's here tonight, but she designed a card of this fun fold for our team meeting in March and showed it. And she gave me pieces for it, and I had to adapt it based upon what I had. But this one is done with the Mountain Air stamp set. And the stars are from it, the mountains here, there's mountains in behind. And then I've used the, what are they called? Majestic Mountain dies for this one. These are also retiring. Forgot to check to see if they're still available, but I think they were. I think they were the last time I checked. But yeah, this is just a really fun one. This sentiment is from the Greatest Journey set, You Belong Among the Stars. And of course, then I stamped the mountains on the inside. So I think that one's super fun. And then I've used some of these glossy dots for the outside. I just love those. Those are carrying over, which I'm very excited about. So that's that. And then I was really, really wanting to do a design with some new products, not things that were retiring, to show you. So I made a project with this brand new set, beautiful balloons. And so next I'm going to show you that. And here we go. I'll show you the products in just a bit when we go through my haul. So there is my card made with the beautiful balloons. So I've used one of the dies. It cuts out these balloon shapes, and then the specialty paper is sitting there on top. And the papers come in 3 different patterns. But again, I'll show them in just a little bit. The sentiment comes with that set, and then it opens up like that. So a little bit different, right? But I really wanted to show something with something new tonight, just for fun, and show you how simple it is to do this split card or this peekaboo card. All right. Okay, so there's that. So now let's go. This is the time when if you want to go, you could go. You can go anytime. But next I'm going to show the new colors, and I'm going to show the new products that I have gotten from the new annual catalog. So this part is going to be a lot of fun if you haven't already seen stuff, and maybe even if you have already seen things. Okay, so just clean up just a bit, get myself organized here. All right. So let's start with, actually, I'm going to show you, first of all, just so things are going to kind of get moved around. For my Maker's Mojo projects, just a little background on Maker's Mojo, we each do 2 presentations. There's 10 presentations altogether. It's a live event that starts, it's day and a half long. So it starts tomorrow at 1 p.m. with the welcome event. And then we have presentations at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. And then we go all day on Saturday. So from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. we'll be going on Saturday. And I want to show you all the different products that I'm using just on my projects and presentations alone. So I'll do a main project, and then I'll do variations on that project, showing people lots of different ways to recreate the same design or using the same technique in a variety of ways. So my project, these are the things I'm using on my projects that are retiring. The timing of this event was really tight because the pre-order was until April 4th. And so we didn't have a lot of time to create. So some of my projects are done with products that are retiring. So these split card dies, the Brilliant Wings dies, and the Butterfly Brilliant set. Again, these are all retiring. Still available last I checked. So those are some of the things I'm using on my presentations. These are things that are carrying over that I used. Basic borders, the scallop contour dies, Happy Labels stamp set, Irresistible Blooms. I know it's kind of hard to probably envision how I'm using all of these products, but I'm trying to just give you an idea of how much you get when you attend this event. So many creative ideas. Beauty of the Deep I'm using on some of my projects. Enjoy the Rhythm. That's not new. This is something that's in the current annual catalog that's carrying over. This is new. Beauty of the Deep has dies that go with it. So we're showing you some of my haul here. I love this set. It's just a really pretty set. It's not part of a suite, but it is a bundle. The Countryside Corner stamp set is another new item. Comes with these great dies if you get the bundle. Again, all part of my Maker's Mojo projects. Cheerful Daisies, I have a version with one of my cards with that. This is a great set using the designer paper for it, and I'll show you that in a bit. And then, of course, Enjoy the Rhythm, which again is not new, but all the products that I'm using for my projects, I'm showing a ton of stuff. Now, I also just wanted to point out that what I showed today, these 3 different projects, this is kind of the thing that we do in a Maker's Mojo event, where we show you one primary thing, and then we show you lots of ways to play with that idea in different ways, so that you go away looking at your own collection of products and going, okay, I can make that with this because I have it, or with this or this, or it helps you get an idea of how you might use things, the other things that you have that might not include any of these products. So that's kind of our goal, help people get their creative mojo going, part of why we call it Maker's Mojo. So that's just a little bit of background. Okay, so you've now seen some of these products that are new. So let's show you some of the consumables that go with them and the product shares. So like I said, there are 13 different product shares. And on my website, I do a menu. It's a really big menu. It's a buffet of a bunch of amazing products. So this is the whole menu. If you buy all 13 shares, which some people do, you get 49 different products, a medley of each of them. You spend far less money, but you get a lot more variety. So what was available for us to pre-order was some of the products from the Bright and Beautiful suite, Zoo Crew, Countryside Inn, and Fresh as a Daisy, and then some of the In Color products. So it's really a small fraction that I get to show you. I wish I could show you more, but I'm going to show you what I got. So this is the Bright and Beautiful suite. And when you buy product shares, you get this nice little menu that goes with it, so you know exactly what's in it. Now, what I have here is only 2 of the 4 products that you'll get in the share. So there's this Gold Celebrations of acetate. So it has 3 different patterns, probably hard to see. Probably need to have them out on the table, just like that, so you can see the different patterns. So you would get 3 6x12 pieces, which is a half of a pack of this particular paper. And then you get a quarter of a pack of the designer paper. That is the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper pack. And again, these are just 2 of the products in that suite. The other 2 items included in that share are Memories and More card pack and the Memories and More cards and envelopes. Super easy to design with those cards and envelopes, and then you can use them in combination with the card pack, either to make cards with them or do scrapbooking. So let's take a look at the designer papers in this set. And of course, this is what I used on this card here. So it's got this pattern in the back, hidden in behind. I did only use one of the designer papers on this one. I used more of them on my Maker's Mojo project. Okay, so let's just look at them one at a time. I love this pattern, very colorful. There's a lot of different colors in this designer series paper. Okay, I'm just going to run through those pretty quickly. A lot of the new and returning colors are in this pack. I love this pattern. It's one of the ones I used on my Mojo project. I think that's the Azure, the whatever first part of that name. Love the stars, and then that's a great pattern too. So much fun. Very happy, cheerful paper. Okay. All right, let's just get this back in its sleeve. And I wish I could show you everything, but alas, Stampin' Up! Doesn't allow us to get everything from the annual catalog. Wouldn't that be nice, right? Okay, so for this share, this is called Zoo Crew Suite. Comes with 3 different things: the designer series paper, this ribbon duo combo pack, and you're getting a quarter of a roll of each of these 2 ribbons, and a medley of designer series. A medley of cardstock in the coordinating colors that go with this paper. So you're getting 2 each in 6 different colors, and all these papers, these cardstocks colors go with the designer paper. So it's all set together. Now, I had a friend this week asking me about what colors go with which designer papers, and she was looking at papers from really a long time ago, and you know, the colors have changed a lot, so it's really hard to say. And if you buy shares, you can keep the colors with the designer paper, and you'll know that you have exactly the right colors. So just saying, it's kind of a nice thing to have the cardstock with the designer paper. So let's take a look at these patterns. Ooh, that black one is, yeah, it's a lot on the eyes. Anyway, these are just crazy cute little animal images, and then black and whites on the back side. I saw a really cute project that Audra Monk shared. She's one of the Makers Mojo presenters, with the stamp set where she actually colored the images in, and she noted that a lot of them only have, like, they're only partially colored, right? They're not. So she did that with the images that she colored, and it looked really super cute. So normally this wouldn't be anything that would be my go-to style, but the papers are pretty cute, you know? So you can always see something fun in everything. All right, next up is the Countryside Inn Suite. This only has 2 items in it, the designer paper and cardstock in 4 coordinating colors. Now the 4 colors I have, did I write them down? Somewhere in here. Yes. Night of Navy, Boho Blue, Misty Moonlight, and Balmy Blue. The only one that's showing here is Misty Moonlight, because guess what? Anticipating the color changeover, I used up all of the other, well, the Night of Navy and Balmy Blue. I literally used up every last bit, and I just didn't know what was carrying over. And I have none. I don't even have full single sheets to show you. They are on order, though. And the Boho Blue, in my rush to order on the pre-order, I forgot my Boho Blue. So it's in shipping right now. Yeah, so there you go. That's why I only have 1 color here to show you. Let's look at the designer paper, though. Super pretty designer paper. And like I said, one of my projects is made with this stamp set and dies and this designer paper. They're all part of the same suite. And I love these blues, just so pretty. It's one of my favorite things, is just blues and white. So pretty. And this share, since it only has 2 things in it, is really cheap. It's only $9. So, but you get a little bit of all of that paper. So it's a quarter pack of the designer series paper. That's how I do it. I do it in 6x12 sheets, because that'll give you more flexibility for how you use it, instead of having a 6x6 piece. All right, which I know a lot of people do their shares in 6x6 pieces, and I opt not to do that unless it comes as a 6x6 piece. All right, so next up is the Fresh as a Daisy Suite. And this one comes with 3 things: the designer series paper, and adhesive back solid gems, and 6 coordinating cardstock colors. So let's take a look at that. And then also this goes with the Cheerful Daisies stamp set and dies. And again, one of the things I'm using in my project presentation in Makers Mojo. So the 6 colors that go with this, see if I can remember all the names. I think this is Pebbled Path and something mauve. I'm going to show you the colors in just a bit. I'm still trying to remember them all. The Balmy Blue. Oh, no, that's Boho Blue. Boho Blue. Pretty Peacock. Wild Wheat. And copper clay. I think that's what those are all called. So that all that designer paper, those cardstock rather, goes with the designer papers. So let's take a look at the designer papers and the embellishments that go with it. So that's a half a pack. Typically the embellishments are half a pack. Sometimes I have to divide them in 2.5, if that makes any sense, just because so I can cut them and have it be logical and reasonably easy. So there's that. And I do prorate the prices. So you're not paying for a half pack, or you're not paying for more than what you're getting. All right. So love these daisy papers. And the back sides are super just neutral, simple patterns. That one's got some interesting pieces to it. Just cut that up. Very pretty. I love this paper. So pretty. I love the texture on those back sides. All right, so that is again the Fresh as a Daisy products and suite. And last but not least, one of the things I'm offering is a 2023-25 in color share. Did not print out a little sheet for it, so I'm going to show it to you here. There's a lot of different products that go into this one. 5 of them are just the textured ribbon, which I'll show you in just a second. There's jute trim, in color dots. There's this luster specialty paper, which I have not seen, of course, because I wasn't able to order it, and the designer series paper stack. What I have here is 4 out of the 5 ribbons. I missed by buying the boho blue ribbon by accident, and again, it's being shipped to me now. And so the ribbon is all wrapped around this piece of chipboard, and it's a 1/4 of a roll of the ribbon, in all of 5 colors is what you'll get. And then the embellishments, the gray ones are hidden in behind up there, but these are so pretty. They're really shiny and pretty much. Nice to sort of complement the more muted colors of the cardstock. And then here is the designer series paper. So I'm showing you 4, 5, 6 of the 8 products that come in this particular share. All right. So let's, all the patterns are the same, but just, of course, different colors. So you're going to get 2 each of each color with, and you'll get all of the patterns, of course, by what's on the front and what's on the back. So here we go. Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path. I'm practicing my names. Wild Wheat. There you go. Now these are all very sort of earthy, muted colors. Kind of like that one over there. But they're going to be fun to play with, especially once we hit the fall. And I love how they looked in the daisy paper. They used a lot of these new in colors in the daisy paper. All right, so that is the in colors. Let's see what else. Let's grab all of my colors. So let's start with the in colors with their names. See how well I did in remembering them. Let's see. You have to go make dinner, Mary. Okay, well, bye. So sorry, you have to leave, but I get it. It's been a long one. All right. So here we are with the colors. So I have actually written them on here so I can remember. So Pebbled Path. I really like this color. It's going to be, it's like a warm gray, and very excited to play with this color more. Boho Blue. I love those colors together. This is such a pretty blue. Very excited for that one too. And now you can see the Moody Mauve. Copper Clay. I think I got the names all right. And Wild Wheat. I think I got all those right. Always takes a while to get the names down. And now you can see how the embellishments look with them. These are just so much more shiny than the cardstock, but pretty and fun. Okay, so next up. Now, if you do the product shares and well, any level of product shares. If you get the 1, 2, 3, or 4, then you'll get entered into a drawing for a medley of the new and returning designer papers. So that's what I'm showing now. So these are the returning papers. So you may recognize them. Berry Burst, Lemon Lime Twist, Blueberry Bushel, and I've written what group they're in. So Brights and Brights, Regals for the Blueberry Bushel. I love this color. So excited that it's come back. Makes it a little bit easier that the Pacific Point went away because it's another beautiful blue. I even think I like this Blueberry Bushel better than Pacific Point. Hard to believe. Pretty Peacock. That's a Regal also. Misty Moonlight, they're calling a neutral. Fresh Freesia, a subtle. That was an in color that would have normally gone away this year, but it carried into the regular color collection. And Lost Lagoon. So if you follow the Color Fusers blog hop group, we go live every the first Monday of every month. This for May, our color scheme is the new in colors. I know I'm delayed in mentioning that. These colors, the new in colors. Just want to point that out. So watch for that if you want to see more done with the new in colors. All right, so now these are the brand new colors that we've never seen before. There's just a few of them. So all these were returning colors, past in colors, etc. So Lemon Lolly. This kind of replaces the So Saffron, and I really like this better. It's just a little bit brighter, a little more lemony. So I'm excited to play with this new yellow. Now, I'm not typically a pastel kind of girl, but this one, Bubble Bath, Lemon Lolly, they're both subtles. And this one is, I think, supposed to replace Blushing Bride, which I never cared for. And I really like this soft pink Bubble Bath. So that's a fun one. And Pecan Pie, another one that I really, really like. Gonna have fun playing with that color. And then this one I also love, Azure Afternoon, which is a bright. I'm waiting for my ink pad to come in on this one. This is another one that I forgot to order with my pre-order, so I'm waiting for the second order. All these fun new colors. So fun. So again, if you do product shares, you get 1, 2, 3, or 4. You'll get entered to a drawing for one each of these card body size pieces. If you order the 5 or more, all the way up to 13, you'll automatically get one of these little samplers, card bodies. And yeah, so kind of a fun little different sort of giveaway than what I usually do. Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to remember if there's anything that I forgot to talk about. I think I'm going to just take a quick look at my little list, see what we got. We've been on here for a while. Thanks for sticking with me if you've been here the whole time. I love going through some of this with you. It's been, like I said, it's been a while since I've gone live just because, you know, life happens. So there's lots going on. So if you are not already signed up for Maker's Mojo, today is the last day to sign up and get entered into the door prize drawings. We do 5 door prize drawings. We've been doing play along posts for the last 10 days or so. I'm going to split the screen here so you can see me and my, get into camera. So yeah, today's the last day to register. There's a link in the description of this video if you're interested in joining us. It's a ton of fun. There are several of you here joining me today who have attended multiple Maker's Mojo events. My team members have the opportunity to earn it for free. And so lots of them join in. It's a little recognition and reward for meeting certain criteria. So love to give it to them for free. And then other people can decide to purchase it because it's an amazing value and tons of creative ideas. Comment if you have attended Maker's Mojo, say something about it, why you like to attend again and again. All right, so that's Maker's Mojo. And let's see what else. Yeah, and check out my Taste of Sweet product shares. I know I was only able to show you a small fraction of what you'll get. If you have a catalog, you can look in the catalog. If you look on my webpage, under the product shares tab on my website, there are photographs that you can click on that Stampin' Up! Has provided they're actually pictures from the catalog of some of the products. There's a couple of photos for each product suite. So if you need a little help figuring out whether you want a given product share, check out those photographs on my blog. Or if you have a catalog already, definitely look in the catalog. And let me know if you have questions. I'm always here to help. Yeah, and if you decide you just have to have the Greatest Journey stamp set, and you want to make today's project, and you order this stamp set, I will send you that die cut piece so you're more easily able to do the flowers. You could fussy cut it, but having a die cut piece would be pretty handy. So yeah, consider doing that. All right, I think this wraps it up for me. Yay, thanks for commenting, Megan, about Maker's Mojo, and Laura Lee. So glad to have you joining in on that. And yeah, we love our Maker's Mojo event. So much fun. We have lots of fun, the 5%ers. So in case you don't know, it's me, obviously, Wendy Lee, Audra Monk, the Crafty Yogi, Joe Blackman from the UK, and Anne-Marie Heil, all super talented, great teachers. They always go over the top with the projects that they create and share at our event. So join us. All right, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I am planning to go live next Thursday, barring anything getting in my way. Yeah, in fact, I'm planning on going live the next 3 Thursdays, because in May, guess where I'm going to be? I'm going to be in Norway and in the UK and in Scotland, taking a trip with my husband. My daughter will be home manning and taking care of the house. So we're super excited for that. So trying to squeeze in a few more Facebook Lives before I am off on my travels. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining in today. And for details, check out the description of the video or reach out to me. And have a wonderful, wonderful evening and week. And if you're joining me for Maker's Mojo, we'll see you tomorrow for the welcome event at 1 p.m. Bye, everybody. Thanks again for joining in. You're welcome, Tracy.